Hello and welcome to an episode of Second Breakfast that has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. The reason you're listening to this, so normally this would have been an episode of Elevensies, which is the bonus content for Patreon, but given everything that's happening right now, I wanted to do something a little extra to distract you or make you laugh or make you roll your eyes several times, given what we're about to talk about. Who knows? But I just wanted to do something extra to try and lift everyone's spirits. I proposed 2 ideas to Becca, and the first one, I was like, okay, so here's the thing. Oh, also, I should say, because this episode will come out before your episode of the chapter comes out. So Becca is going to be the guest for the episode on Tuesday. Just an FYI for what's going on. Yeah, so I was like, I have these 2 ideas for a bonus content episode. One of them is something fun that relates to both of our podcasts. And the other one has nothing to do with either of our podcasts at all. And I'm pretty sure that like Tyler and Ethan have expressed their disdain for this topic, but a bonus episode I feel like I can do. So this is like our unofficial pilot episode for our Degrassi podcast.
And by that, you mean we've been on a Skype call for 2 hours and we first discussed it 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So I proposed these 2 ideas to Becca and she was like, the Degrassi one, we got to talk about Degrassi right now. And we started talking about it. I was like, Becca, please stop talking about it. We have to stop talking until we press record. So for listeners that don't know, Degrassi is
the worst television show, but also the best television show.
It's a like Canadian teen show from so originally the first series took place in the 80s and then they brought it back for like early 2000s. I think exactly 2000. And it was about like the issues that teens today go through. And it's like smoking and teen pregnancies and abortion and bras and I don't know what else, like just random crap that, and some of the episodes are like really ridiculous and some of them are like sad and I cried a lot. You may also recognize Degrassi as this is the series that Drake was on. He's when he was
Drake.
He was Aubrey Graham is his real name. And there's an episode where he gets shot by the school shooter and it paralyzes him and he's in a wheelchair. So if you've seen GIFs or something of Drake in a wheelchair and he looks really young, that's where that's come from, is him being on Degrassi. And Degrassi spanned like 14 seasons. It's insane. And then they brought it to
every
Netflix.
Day.
Huh?
Like I remember it coming out every single day when I was a teen. Like I'm pretty sure they were reruns, but I remember like watching. No, they weren't reruns because they came out on like some special Nickelodeon. It was like Teen Nick. I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah. So the only series. So Mary Clay has been bouncing this idea around for a while, and I have been like the biggest cheerleader for her to do this because she talks about it all the time on her like her Instagram story and stuff. And I'm like, please do a Degrassi like podcast, please. I need this in my life. And so the only Degrassi I've seen is like the ones from 2000, I want to say 9, whenever Eli and Claire were on.
So I think we both started watching it, or I guess, talk about how, like, when were you first made aware of the show? Like, how did you come across it? And like, when did you start watching it?
I was never allowed to watch Nickelodeon when I was younger. I just wasn't, up until like I started staying home alone and I would sneak watch it and my parents had no choice because there weren't parental controls back then. And so my best friend loved Degrassi and like it would come out every single day. I believe it was in the summer. It would come out every single day on Teen Nick because it had premiered in Canada, and then Teen Nick would premiere every single day after the fact. And so me and my best friend, that was like one of the things that we didn't even have webcams on our laptops. We would just voice talk on AIM while we were watching this show and like react to it in real time. And we would have to be like 1, 2, 3, play, and like hit it at the same time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I had a laptop. So I want to say it was like 2008 or 2009 because that's when I got like my first laptop. And I just remember being obsessed with it. Like, and my best friend Megan will always say that she's the one that gets me into things because like I didn't like the Jonas Brothers until she was into them, and I didn't like Degrassi till she was into them. So it was one of those things where she was like, "You have to watch the show," and I was like, "Nah." She's like, "No, you have to watch the show," and I was like, "All right," and like immediately fell in love with Eli and like literally cut my hair like Claire.
I love them. Yeah, I probably started, I don't know. I think I started watching, oh no, I can tell you so there was like a marathon running on Teen Nick, and I happened to be like flipping through the channels, and it landed on the episode where Adam is revealed to be a female to male transgender student and has to dress up and present female for his family that's in town. And I landed like on the scene where he's like lighting a barrette and uses it to hurt himself and burn himself. And I was like, I
forgot about that.
I was like, what is this show? So obviously I was intrigued, but to see you know, like when you stop on something like super random and abrupt and you're like, what the heck? So I kept watching, and like I said, it was a marathon, so it kept going. And I was
binging before binging.
Exactly. Like I watched so many episodes of Degrassi in that day, and I was like, it was great. And I was like, I don't know who this Bianca girl is, but she's awful. I don't know who drew it. You know, I don't know any of these characters, but by the end of the day, they were my best friends. I should also add that like Degrassi also has a reputation for being like the most overly dramatic show ever, because it's a kind of ridiculous situation where like there's no way that in any normal high school all of this happens. And it always all happens to like the same 10 people. And it's just so dramatic where it'll be like it'll just take you on a journey where like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so overly dramatic where there's so many issues that all these kids go through, and it's like there's no child that ever experiences all of that. There are probably kids who experience some of that, but there's no way that this would all happen to one person.
Well, and then also it just like sometimes the things will just go away and they'll just never matter again.
I know. Okay, so like I said, I think, so we both started watching, I think, about like the same time period in the show. I think it's like season 10 or 11. There's 14 seasons. And once I finished all of that, I went back and started at the beginning because all of the episodes are free on YouTube. And I watched all of it. And
I remember that. Now that you say that, you're literally like triggering so many like back memories.
Yeah, I watched all of it and then watched the episodes that are on Netflix, and then I like in August or September or something, I finished my second rewatch of it, which was extremely embarrassing.
No, that's when I was the biggest Mary Clay fan. I was like, please do Degrassi. Like anytime you bring it up, I'm like, please do a Degrassi show.
Because we both love Eclair forever.
What a good ship name.
Yeah, so Eclair is Eli Goldsworthy and Claire Edwards. And they start out as like, oh, you would never suspect that they would end up together because Claire is like a good Christian girl and very uptight and serious and a goody two-shoes and never does anything wrong. And then Eli he drives a hearse and he has a welcome to the Black Parade kind of a jacket and wears eyeliner. And he has a dead girlfriend and all this stuff. Like I wonder if the writers like planned to have them be together or if they had to, because the first thing that he said when Claire's taking off her glasses and then she drops them and he runs over them in the parking lot and then he picks them up and he's like, I like your eyes or something like that. And they just have
she has great
chemistry.
eyes.
She does have pretty eyes. Claire got a glow up. That's the thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if you watched any of the earlier seasons or episodes, but
No.
Claire had
So
a
I
huge
watched
glow up.
I think well, because at that time I was really into Tumblr, and so I was very much on the Claire Tumblr scene. But I remember I was like obsessed with Claire. Like I literally brought a picture of her to my hairdresser because I have like really curly hair. And I gave her a picture and I was like, I want this haircut. And she goes, you do realize that those aren't real curls, right? And I was like, yeah, but can't you just make them like with my real curls? And she's like, I mean, I could just make your hair short with bangs, sure. I was like, but I want to be Claire. It was actually really cute.
Oh, good.
I was into it.
Yay.
It was a lot of work though, because I'd have to straighten my bangs every day. But
do you think you would do that haircut again?
Yeah, it was just a lot of work. Which is funny because it was short, because she has short hair.
Yeah.
But I watched, so I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't watched it since then, literally.
Oh my gosh.
I know I love it. I remember Claire, like you mentioning Adam triggered something in my brain. Like I think that was the first time I ever knew what like transgender was.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's a really silly show, but also it like brings up a lot of
serious topics. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you and I were talking about before when you told me to be quiet and save it for the recording. I drive people around that go to dialysis like 3 times a week. And the first time I ever heard of dialysis was on Degrassi.
Yeah, Holly J.
Yeah.
She goes through quite the character arc because she is a BICTH in the beginning. And listeners, I know that I spelled that incorrectly. It's a meme. Go look it up. And when she's first introduced, she's like the mean girl, and she and Anya are best friends, and she's so mean to Anya. And there was another character, I think it was Jane, maybe, who was like, why do you put up with her? And Anya's like, she's my friend. I don't know what to do. And Holly J, she goes through like quite the transformation and turns into this like much more compassionate, like hardworking person by the end of her character. Yeah, it's and then so I was talking. Yeah, so Claire is the character who was like quote unquote like on the show the longest because she was her first appearance is as the younger sister of another character, Darcy. Who, by the way, so you mentioned that like sometimes the problems in Degrassi will just go away.
Doesn't Darcy just disappear?
Yeah, another thing that they do quite frequently is the characters just will disappear and will go away. Sometimes they explain it, sometimes they don't. With Darcy's character, she's like, I'm going on a mission trip in Africa, and you never hear from her again. That's it.
So it's kind of cool. Like, I remember being confused with a lot of things. Like, I would be very aware that they were making a reference. Like, it was obvious they were making a reference, but I was like, I haven't seen past episodes of Degrassi. I don't know what they're referencing. So it does that a lot where, like, if you watch all of the seasons, they kind of, like, weave in and out of each other, which is really cool. Because it's, like, kids just growing up, like, in the same high school.
Yeah. And what's kind of nice about the show is that the focus of the show is more kind of on the school than on the people, because that way they can let their characters graduate, and then they bring it, and then they start focusing on, oh, okay, here are the freshmen and the sophomores that we're going to focus on. The Niners, as they're called. Yeah. The 9th grade kids, the Niners.
And they have to wear like specific polos.
That's it. Yeah. So that's after they go, Principal Simpson goes on lockdown mode and is like, we're all going to wear uniforms that color coordinate to our grades. And
which like is such a good TV trope, because then you can just know where everyone is.
I will say it was helpful for me to be like, oh, they're not in the same grade. I didn't realize that.
Or like if you think about like Scrubs, how they have all the different colors for the different areas. In the hospital.
Surgeons
like,
are
the same
green.
kind of idea.
Yeah, and then the doctors are blue. Yeah. Who was I? I was talking about. Oh, I wanted to talk. Yeah. So Claire, when she's she's like a fetus. Almost. And she goes to like a private school, and then she gets transferred into the like gifted accelerated learning program at Degrassi, along with Allie, Connor, and Casey. Oh my God. I'm just remembering all the drama that happened with Casey and Jenna and Claire that you don't even know about, I don't think, because you didn't watch those episodes. So this is an actual plotline, listeners. Casey and Claire start dating. This, of course, comes after Allie does a makeover with Claire. Claire continues to wear her uniform to Degrassi and everyone makes fun of her, and Allie one day is like, don't you care about your appearance? Don't you want to look cute? And Claire's like, I guess. And so they do the classic, like, oh, she takes her hair out of her ponytail and she puts on jeans, and then suddenly Casey is really into her, and it's hilarious. Anyway, so they start dating. And then Jenna shows up, and Jenna is in the gifted program with them. And she's like, oh, this is so fun. I never all the girls at my old school were so mean. It's so fun to have girlfriends finally. And it's like, we see where this is going. And she says, she starts talking about Casey, and she's like, oh, Casey is so cute. And Claire's like, oh, well, he's my boyfriend. And she's like, oh, don't worry, Claire Bear. I wouldn't touch him. I won't even look at him. Then Casey and Jenna start flirting madly. And Jenna steals Casey from Claire. And then in the next season, Jenna gets pregnant with Casey. Bam. And it's Claire's like, glad I ditched that train a long time ago. And then that plot line is Jenna has the baby, and they try to keep Casey and Jenna try to keep the baby, and they are staying with Casey's mother, who was just let out of jail, and she's now sober, but there's the risk that she might not be sober anymore, and Casey has trust issues with her. And then Casey starts flirting with one of the girls at the restaurant that he works at and starts lying about being late, about working late shifts. And then Jenna confronts him and is like, I have your timesheets. You clock out at 9, but you're not home till 11. Where are you? Keep in mind, they're 16 years old. And then she's like yelling at him, and then she like picks up her guitar, and Casey's like, well, I don't see you providing for this family. And she like turns around and accidentally whacks him in the head with her guitar. And then, oh, who's that on the door? Knock, knock, knock. Child Protective Services shows up for their meeting right then. And that's just like one plot line. That's what I mean when I say the show is so dramatic and insane.
It's like Secret Life of the Canadian Teenager.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the other
better.
Thing. Oh my gosh, that totally reminds. You don't even know about. Do you even know about Craig?
I know of Craig.
Oh my god,
because he always shows up.
Craig is the best. He was the original Dreamboat. Craig was like kind of the Eli at first, where like everyone had a little crush on him. By everyone, I mean like the viewers. Everyone had a crush on Craig, and then Eli comes in later. Yeah, so this is also a very Canadian show. And there's one like it's one of his like famous lines where he's apologizing to his girlfriend, and he goes like, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he just says it over and over, and it's so Canadian.
I was never someone who was, I mean, obviously because we're millennials, I was never someone that was into soap operas, but it's literally teenage soap opera.
That's how I describe it too. Yeah.
So stupid trying to explain it.
What do you mean? I'm a very intelligent person. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, this show is insane. Let's see. So aside from Eclair, who are some of your other like favorite characters?
Adam. I forgot about Adam until you just said that.
That just reminded me of the Vine. Adam. The vine where he's blowing the smoke. The vine where he's blowing the. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna send that to you. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Probably.
Yeah, Adam's a great character who, spoiler alert, gets killed off in a texting and driving accident.
Yup.
That's what I mean when I say this show. It's like, of course. I think the reason that happened though is because Adam's character was about to start going on testosterone. And was going to be possibly getting like chest surgery and stuff. And it was an actress who played Adam. And obviously she wasn't going to go through that for the role. So I think it was getting to a point where they're like, oh crap, Adam needs to start like looking like a boy and having a deep voice and all this stuff, and we can't do that. So
right.
What you say? Killed Adam. Poor Adam. Okay.
Yeah, I just remember it's definitely like an all-consuming show. Because once you get like even a season in, you have like 10 storylines that you can go off of.
Exactly. You can't. The other thing, later, I think from like season 10 onward, they started doing a format where they would do like 30-minute episodes, but it would be part A, part B. And it would be like an hour-long episode kind of split into 2 parts. So
it would come out every day.
And it would follow the same storylines. Like up until, I don't know, season 9, they would just focus on, it would just be like a normal episode where like there's just one plot line and it's resolved in that episode. So with the later seasons, it really sucks you in because if you watch a part 1, you have to watch the part 2. And like, that's an hour of your life gone, you know?
They knew what they were doing.
Okay, Becca, I'm sending you in Discord this Vine. I know you've seen it.
I mean, probably.
Okay, I just sent it to you.
Just call me MC in pig farts.
Did it come? Did it arrive?
Adam. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, there we go. Adam.
That's so funny. Adam.
Anyway, so another storyline that I liked just for the dramatics was all of the Drew and Bianca stuff, especially when they got into the gang territory, where like
the Canadian gang,
where Bianca straight up murdered a man in an alley and they run away. And like, what? And then Drew takes the blame, and then the gang is after Drew and Bianca, and then they beat up Drew, and then Drew has a whole side plot where, like, he does, like, UFC fighting because he wants to learn self-defense. It's so insane and ridiculous. And then the gang, this is another thing that happens to Adam. The gang shows up at their prom and goes to shoot someone, and it goes off and it hits Adam. Adam's the one who gets shot.
Yeah, Adam gets like no breaks.
Poor Adam, man.
Because isn't Adam best friends with Claire?
Yeah, that's the funny thing is that in like season like 10, 11, Adam, Claire, and Eli are like a trio, and then all of a sudden towards the end, like, a lot of stuff happens where I'm like, Adam, why are you being mean to Claire? You guys were best friends, like, last semester. What's going on?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I remember this was like 2008, 2009, so it wasn't really common for there to be, like, stuff on YouTube where you could, like, see behind the scenes and stuff. And there used to be interviews with the cast every single week on was it Much Music that aired it in Canada? Whatever the like station was. But whatever the station was, they had a YouTube channel. And so every week they would like go over it with like all the parts with the cast. And I just remember like there was an episode where exactly what you're talking about, where the actress that played Adam was just like, I had no idea what was going on. I was just told to say those words. Like, I don't know why Adam is so mad at Claire.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. The series premiered on CTV, which stands for
Canadian TV.
I'm assuming. Let's see. I'm going to get the time for it. Yeah, so it premiered October 14th, 2001. Oh, during the 9th season in 2010, the series moved to Much Music. Wow, I can't believe you remembered that.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Let's see.
No, it's more just like I kept thinking of the time in my life, and I was like, that seems legit. Because I like had a friend falling out at the time, and so like I had a lot of free time.
Let's see.
Kind of like right now.
Yes.
And so
season 10 was 2010. And I think that's when like all this Claire, Eli, Adam stuff started kicking up. Let me see.
Yeah, because that's when I wasn't doing theater, so I had like free time.
What a good show.
I love it so much.
Yeah. So we're at 30 minutes. I guess we'll leave it there. whether or not we
Please
continue
tweet us.
this.
Tell us we should do more.
Yeah, into well, it would be really fun because you haven't seen any of the earlier episodes and I have. So it would be fun for us to watch it with me knowing what happens and you going into it.
It would be like the opposite of your show.
Yeah.
You would be the expert.
It would be nice. Oh, like, I'm not even kidding when I say that I am the expert, the Degrassi expert. Like, I know all the characters. I can
tell by the whole conversation we just had.
Let's see. There's Ashley, Jimmy. Oh, by the way, Jimmy is the name of Drake's character. Craig, Marco, Ellie. Who else? Paige. Oh my gosh, Paige. I can't believe you haven't experienced Paige. She's great. Emma, Manny, JT. Oh my god, JT.
He's the one that shoots
No,
him, right?
No. Do you know about JT? Hello?
I guess not.
Oh, there we go. Oh no. Okay, well, we'll experience that later together.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, no, what am I saying? JT's the great. He has a very happy life. There's also
So he's not the shooter.
Liberty. There's Darcy. Freaking hate Darcy. The Darcy and Peter plotline. Hate it. They are annoying. I'm not actually going to list all the characters, but like this just goes to show how random and in-depth my knowledge about this dumb Canadian teen soap opera is.
That's why it would be so much fun to do it as like mid-20s women in like 2020,
gosh,
where I bet a lot of these storylines are problematic.
Oh, so good. Actually, I don't think so, because honest to God, Degrassi is ahead of its time. I'm sure there are some moments that are problematic, but like in season 1 or 2, they have an episode about bulimia that's about a boy character. And that's not something you see a lot of, about an eating disorder, episode about a boy. It's always about a girl. Like, I think the first episode or the first couple episodes is about like child predators on the internet, and which is less of a thing. I mean, I know that's still a thing, obviously, but like, it's not as common now. It's
easier to be safe nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of plot lines that I'm sure aren't exactly as relevant or anything, but I'm trying to think of like what would be problematic. Like, honest to God, it was ahead of its time. There's a character who is pregnant and gets an abortion, and it's her choice, and she decides that she wants to do it, and she has a whole conversation about it with a different character who was a teen mom when that's the other. So, the first couple seasons also bring in some of the characters from the original series in the 80s, but they're adults now.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like that was kind of a way to bring in the people who had watched it before. And
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Doctor Who.
Sure. I haven't watched
You've never seen Doctor Who?
No. I've only seen the Don't Blink episode, and
the Don't Blink episode's the best episode besides the Vincent episode.
And then they took it off Netflix, and I didn't watch it anymore.
Yeah, like what the heck, BBC, man?
At least there's still Sherlock. That's another show we can cover. No, we're not going to do that because those episodes are way too long.
That would literally be like 3 months.
Oh, what a good show. Anyway, yeah, Becca, do you have any final words you want to share about Degrassi?
I want to do this show, and I want everyone to blow it up so that Tyler and Ethan let us put it on the network, because that would be great. Otherwise, we're just going to do it for fun if we decide to do it.
I mean, it would be for fun anyway, but we would have it would be an official thing, Oh my gosh, so ridiculous. But yeah, I hope.
Also, it would bring so much joy in a time where we need it. Is how I feel. I want to talk about something silly and ridiculous, because I feel like our two shows, like my show is very casual, as is yours, but like there's still research that goes into it.
Well, there's so much prep that goes into my show, and I hate it.
Right.
And also, like, it would be nice for me to not have to find a new guest every week.
Would just be me.
And we just do like a 30-minute podcast about each episode. That would take so long.
Yeah, so, well, because Yeah, but it would be great. I've always wanted to do a show like Bacon and Eggs where they literally like, we're gonna watch a movie and then talk about it. I'm like, that sounds great. You guys don't have to come up with topics.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like, that's me and Enie's hardest part, is trying to be like, okay, what can we talk about this time? So I'm not complaining. I love my show.
Yeah,
it's like my creative outlet.
Hard. It would definitely be a lot easier to transition into something where it's like you have the content that you're going to talk about for the next 5 years,
17 years
is already set out and planned for you. All you have to do is go to YouTube and watch this 20-minute TV show, you know?
Like, we could literally set out 2 hours a week where we watch the show and then talk about it. And that includes, like, everything that goes along with it.
Oh, my gosh. What a good time. What a good show.
Mary Clay, you have to come up with a name now.
I want to call it, like, Whatever It Takes, because that's the theme song. But I feel like there's something better. I feel like there's got to be something better that could happen.
I love that, though, because it's like first of all, I love that theme song. That just, again, sparked another memory.
Also, what's funny about the show is that because it's for 14 years, you can see, like, time. It's like a time capsule because it starts in 2001. And that also is, like, represented in the theme song because it starts out with, like, this very, like, weird choral mix. And it's like, whatever I'm going to look this up and play a little bit of it.
I want to let you know.
And then it transitions to, like, a poppy music.
A Degrassi podcast called Whatever It Takes.
Oh, I knew it.
However, they only have 9 episodes.
Are they recent episodes?
Yes.
Oh, so they just started.
Well, there's another one called the Degrassi Every Episode Ever Marathon Podcast.
Oh my gosh.
With Pat and Rachel. They started in 2018. They are on season 5.
Oh, Jesus. 2 years. We'll look into
You were right.
this.
It would take like 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
There's a show called Damn It, Degrassi. Oh my God, there's one called Started from Degrassi, Now We're Here.
That's great. That's great. We'll keep y'all posted if we decide to do a Degrassi podcast.
Becca's down.
What a fun time that would be. I feel like I would need, because I literally just finished a rewatch, it was like a couple months ago. I feel like I would need to give myself another break before I go back into it again.
We should make it a summer show.
Oh, summer. That could be good. Yeah. We'll revisit this.
Everyone.
We'll revisit this. And also,
tweet about it.
The other thing is that I might be done with Return of the King by then. Maybe. No, I lied.
Then you move on to The Hobbit.
When did I start Two Towers?
A while ago.
I started Two Towers in... Oh, yeah, no. It'll take me a lot longer to get through Return of the King than I thought. Yeah, because I started Two Towers in November, and I'll be finished in April. That's so many months.
That's like 6 months.
That's so many months. So maybe that's crazy because will I be done with Return of the King this year? I've always thought that I was gonna finish reading the books before the end of this year, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay, anyway, I will cut all of that pondering out. But I don't know how to like sign off on this, but I hope this brought you joy. If you're still listening, tweet at MC What's Up and tweet at Becca. What's your handle?
Eddows, BeccaEddows. It's just my name.
Oh, Becca Eddows. Tweet at Becca Eddows and tweet at MC What's Up. Let us know if you enjoyed this. If you also like Degrassi, if you've never heard of it in your life, if you think this sounds just completely insane and ridiculous, let us know your thoughts. And also,
well, to be honest, you might still like it because I used to listen to a show that was all about The Bachelor, and I've never seen The Bachelor in my entire life, but I used to like to listen to 2 girls just talk about it that were like good friends just because they had good banter.
Yeah.
And you and I
hope we have good banter.
Skype call for 3 hours.
I hope we have
good
banter. Yeah, like 40 minutes into this, I'm like, I hope we have good banter. But yeah, I hope. So the goal of this was to like give you something else to entertain and keep your mind off of everything. I know things are difficult and uncertain and crazy right now. Hang in there. Wash your hands. Social isolation is key.
I bet Whatever It Takes is 20 seconds. I bet you could sing that.
Whatever. Oh, that's true. No, it's like a minute long.
I bet if you cut out all the like pauses. If you just sang the words.
Whatever it takes. I know I can make it through. Yeah, listeners, sing the Degrassi theme song when you're washing your hands. And it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And I don't know, I feel like I don't know what sign off to do here, because I would normally go, and that's what I'm Tolkien about, but this had nothing to do with Lord of the Rings.
I bet Rolkin Tolkien, yep, that's his name. I had to like severely think about that. I bet he would hate Degrassi.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me? It has
they
female
don't
characters in it.
The trees?
It has
a lot
yeah,
of female
it has
characters.
a lot of female characters in it. I don't think he would like it at all. And that's what I'm Degrassi-ing about.
That's what I'm Canadian about.
Yeah.
A boot.
Oh, I know what we're gonna call this show. We're gonna call it "That's What I'm Talking About."